In this adventure, we participate in October Big Day, one of the greatest birding days of the year. We try to break our big day record by going birding from dawn until dusk. But as you can see, the weather turns nasty. Can we do this, or will the rain take us out on our attempt? Come join me on this journey, and let's see what birds we can find. It's the best day of the birding year. 2 times a year, Global Big Day happens, where you try to find as many species as you can in one day. Our record for October Big Day is somewhere in the 70s. I'll put it up on the screen. And we're gonna be birding all day long from dawn until dusk. Sunrise is happening right now, and I am currently at Gar Ranch on Antelope Island. So without further ado, let's not waste any more time. Jump into this and see what birds we can find today and see if we can break our October Big Day record. Also, we might have a fun challenge today. I'll introduce that in just a second. Let's get going. The light's not great to start, but we've already picked up our first bird on camera, yellow-rumped warblers. Great start to the day. Love getting warblers on camera. We also picked up a northern flicker to add to our list. Then lastly, got another tough bird to get on camera, ruby-crowned kinglets to add to our list for the day. I just want to mention as well, if I don't get a bird on camera at the hot spot, it still counts obviously, but I'll do a recap at the end of each stop that we take. And if I get footage later on in the video, I'll put that at the end of each stop and just mark it as later on footage. Or if I don't get footage, I'll just list their photos and tell you where we're at numbers wise at the end of each hotspot. So let's continue onwards. Good start to today. I think we have 7 species so far. We're aiming for about 25 at this first hotspot, which is a tall order, but let's see if we can do it. Picked up a few more species on camera, including an American kestrel flying away from us, a common raven way up in the air, and a handful of European starlings. Again, the lighting's not great yet, but still got some good birds, so let's continue walking around Gar Ranch a little bit and let the sun come up. We have about another hour to be here before we have to move on to the next stop. I'm keeping a strict schedule this year to optimize how many species we could probably see. It's supposed to storm today. The weather could get nasty and that could put a damper on the situation, but let's see what we can do. Also, I want to turn it over to Birding with Chris for a quick challenge message.
Hey Bright-Eyed Birding, it's Chris from Birding with Chris. Welcome back to the 3rd edition of Global Big Day Challenge. This time, I'm on Santa Catalina Island, 30 miles off the coast of Los Angeles. The main deal is looking for rarity, so I'm not really sure how the total species number is going to come out. Well, let's see what we can do. Let's go find some birds.
So we've picked up a few more species, including a spotted towhee, which is a difficult bird to get on camera. They like to hang down in the underbrush and scratch at the leaves. Not the best looks ever, but now we have some sunlight. It's actually really golden light in this canopy now. We've gotten a lot more birds singing, we're calling, and we've added more to our list. Not everything on camera, of course, but I'll recap that in a little bit. Hoping to pick up just a handful more species. I think we're at 16, 17 species so far, which is great. I think we're leaning towards 25 here at the first hotspot. So we want to get as close to that as possible. We have 1 more hour left. Let's see what other birds we can pick up for today. I love Global Big Day. This is going to be awesome.
Because some of the birds were obscured by bad lighting, here's another yellow-rumped warbler and even another shot of a yellow-rumped warbler. These birds looked absolutely beautiful in the sunlight. And then we also have this American kestrel, another bird that we got bad looks at, but now you guys get to see it in all of its glory.
We got our first highlight bird of the day, a great horned owl, just chilling in a tree over there. That actually is really, really good for us because 1, great horned owls are amazing, and despite how many species we see today, that's not the point. Obviously, it's fun to do it twice a year, but then otherwise I just like to enjoy slow birding. But number 2, we don't have to hit one of the spots that we were specifically going to go to try to get a great horned owl because we have one right here. That saves us time. Time is species, so let's go. We're still at Gar Ranch, our first location. This is where we're probably going to spend the longest amount of time besides the causeway heading back out, but let's see if we can pick up 1, maybe 2 more species. I really want to get as close to that 25 goal that we had for this first hotspot. I think we're at 18. We finished it up here at our first stop, Gar Ranch, and some notable misses on our list is Townsend's warbler, Wilson's warbler, and a red-naped sapsucker. Now, these are the 3 birds that I'm worried about not getting later. Obviously, we had other misses. We were 7 birds short. We ended up with 18, which I'll get into in a minute. But these 3 birds, I don't really see us getting most likely later in the day. So that's 3 misses, which is honestly, that's pretty good. A lot of times when I do big days, I get like half the birds I'm expecting. So we're gonna head to our next stop, Ladyfinger Point. But let me recap the birds that we didn't film. Again, if I get it later in the day, I'll use that later footage. It'll be labeled as such. And if I don't, you'll just have some photos of the birds that we added to our list to get us back on track towards our total. Next stop, here we come.
So here are the birds that we got: mourning dove, ring-necked pheasant, horned lark, barn swallow, marsh wren, hermit thrush, American robin, western meadowlark, red-winged blackbird, and orange-crowned warbler. So I'm actually driving now to the next location, but we actually picked up some species along the way, including a white-crowned sparrow to add to our list. But usually the burrowing owls are not on the island at this point. Usually they've moved on, they've migrated south. We have a burrowing owl right here just outside of its burrow. So that is a surprise on today's list. I didn't even have that listed as a possibility. That's amazing. Another highlight to the day, burrowing owl on the list. Y'all have, if you watched the channel before, you've seen the burrowing owls quite frequently, but was not expecting to get that bird today at all. That's an awesome treat to add to our list. Let's get to our next location.
I'm now at Ladyfinger Point Trail. This is kind of the northern tip of the island. Before we get to the causeway, hoping to pick up some Buick's wren that were reported here, rock wren, maybe get lucky and see a Bell's sparrow. And then there was also a whole bunch of ducks and eared grebes and stuff reported here the other day. So hopefully we can pick those up as well. Let's see if we can find any of our target species. All right, so we picked up 2 targets. The first one, I'll go with the bad news first. Buick's wren, we got it. Here's my clip. Obviously, it flew away right before I hit record, but we did get a Buick's wren. But a bird I did get on camera is the rock wren. There was a whole bunch of them behind me over here. Pretty cool to see those birds. And this is the spot to get them. So did not miss on the rock wren, picked those up. Out in the distance over here are a whole bunch of American avocets, but the northern shovelers and eared grebes, by the thousands that were reported here yesterday, are nowhere to be seen, unless I'm missing something. So I'm gonna continue to scan out here. Also, I really wanna see a chucker before our time is up at this hotspot. So if we can see a chucker here, we're good. If not, that's a miss on the day that I was hoping to get here at the island. So we're doing really, really good so far. Let's see what other birds we can find. So I based all of my bird predictions for today, or what I thought I was going to be seeing at each hotspot based off of yesterday. The problem is that it's Saturday and it's duck hunting season. So yesterday, where there might not have been as many duck hunters, the whole causeway was full of duck hunters. I don't know what impact that'll have on birding today, but I can already tell you, I don't see one grebe or duck out on the causeway. Luckily, we have a few places built in, like Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge, to pick up the slack in some areas and have more opportunities to see ducks, but that's really, really unfortunate. And so we're kind of leaving Antelope Island at the end of this kind of a little bit empty. Again, I built in safeguards so we could potentially see these species elsewhere. I was hoping to get them at the beginning as to not, load all pressure at the end to try to find some of these species, but we'll do with what we got. And I hope you guys also had a great big day and saw a whole bunch of birds. Let me know in the comments below. How many species did you find? What was the highlight of your day? And where'd you go birding? We picked up a red-tailed hawk to end this hotspot. That's a new bird for the day. And we got to see it hawking or hovering in the air. No, not hawk in, but it is similar. All right, our next stop is the causeway. And I believe I got everything except for the Buick's wren on camera here, but if not, there'll be a recap. Let's head on to the next hotspot. We need a lot of shorebirds here. If we don't get shorebs here, our only chance is at Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. Again, we don't have a scope, so we might be at a disadvantage, but I'm just enjoying being outside and seeing all the birds around us. It's been a good day so far.
One new bird, the northern harrier.
So the causeway's been good to us so far. We picked up a new bird, great blue heron, on the shelf. The water's so low that the little islands are starting to form on an already shallow lake that we have out here. And we also picked up a ruddy duck back behind me over here. That was good to get as well. And a western grebe to add to the list. In addition to that, we picked up 2
eared grebes out on the water. So yeah, this has been good. Obviously maybe not as good as we need it to be, unfortunately, but it's doing pretty good. There's a gull out there. It's a very dark gull next to another gull, and I'm not exactly sure what species they are, so let me look at my photos real quick and I'll get back to you in just one second. So I believe what we have out there is an American herring gull. That's a really good species to pick up. I saw it reported, but I'm not great with gulls, and that's the darker bird, American herring gull. The other one's possibly a lesser blackback gull. I have to look at photos again. It also might just be another American herring gull. So really cool that we got those two species, new gull species. And then we also picked up a ring-billed gull out on the shelf as well. There's a whole bunch of ducks out here. Some of them are really far out in the distance. So we're gonna spend our time picking through these, see if we can find a new species, and I'll keep you updated. Look what's waiting for us outside. They're so hungry. Mosquito galore. I had to take off my sweatshirt though because it's so hot out there now. At least for me, it's 68 degrees. But my goodness, look at those mosquitoes. They're gonna eat me alive. We got some Forster's terns on camera. Those are really cool birds. New bird for the day as well. Got multiple shots of them. But I'm heading back to my car. We just did the bridge area. Honestly, it's just ruddy ducks, hundreds and hundreds of ruddy ducks, and there's birds I can't see out there. Let's see what else we can find. Finally found some ducks besides ruddy ducks. We got some northern shovelers out here. There's actually quite a few of them, so another new bird on our list. Causeway's actually ending up being pretty good, but not everything's grouped together. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to go and stop and go and stop, but I prefer that. We really need shorebirds though, if we're gonna get anywhere near beating last year's record of 70 something birds, 75 or something like that. So if we don't get the shorebirds, we're kind of screwed. We can still get them at Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge, but I'd rather pick at least a couple up right now. So let's see if we can find these birds. All right, we finally got some shorebirds on the list. Honestly, I'm still missing killdeer, so it's kind of crazy what we have and what we don't have. Long-billed dowitcher on the list for the day. Amazing looking birds. Super happy to pick those up. Honestly, I'm just happy to get shorebirds on the list in general. Again, we've been stopping like every quarter mile or so, looking at the birds, less than that really, every couple hundred yards, looking at the birds that are out there. I'm gonna scan this area. There's a whole bunch of shorebs out here, or maybe avocet, and see what there is. Okay, so the second half of the causeway hasn't necessarily been super productive. We picked up a new species, killdeer. We found just a couple of those finally, but this is where a scope would really be useful for me as a birder. Obviously, you don't need a scope to go birding, and 90% of the time, I don't need a scope at all. I'm not gonna carry around a scope as I walk through the woods like I was at Gar Ranch. But it would be so nice to have in the car for when I find something like this. There are thousands of ducks, gulls, shorebirds out there, and I can't see and identify hardly any of them. I think a lot of them are northern shovelers just based off the coloration that I'm seeing, but otherwise, it's near impossible to tell what's out there. I saw a whole flock of shorebird-like birds flying through the air, and I wasn't able to tell what they were. Those might be phalarope, but again, I can't get a confirmation. I'm gonna look back at those photos and see what is out there. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. The birds are way too far out, and that's also just because the water is so low this time. Dangerously low, by the way. It's not good. We're gonna head to our next location, Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. This is going to be a little bit of a ride, so I might see some birds on the way. If I get things like rock pigeon, house sparrow, and other birds while I'm just like, you know, Eurasian collared dove while I'm just urban driving through areas and I don't get those on camera, I'll recap those at the end. But yeah, hopefully we're doing good. Let me update you on the birds that we got on the causeway that I did not feature. One last species on the causeway today, American pipit. Pretty far out in the distance, but it's a new species to add to our list. To round out the causeway, we got a song sparrow, green-winged teal, northern pintail, American widgeon, and gadwall to bring us to 45. All right, we finally made it to the Bear River Auto Tour Loop. Super excited to see what birds we find here. I have seen a ton of duck hunters leaving and some arriving, so there might not be any birds left for us by the time we get out there. That's the downside to kind of the clash between, you know, duck hunting and birding at the same time. But we still have some great locations after this as well. I did pick up a few species on the road out here, so I'll send you for that recap real quick. 2 new birds on the road out, white-faced ibis and double-crested cormorant.
Anyways, let's see what birds we can find here at Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge, and I'll keep you updated. There really is some low-hanging fruit available. For example, we do not have Canada goose for the day. Picked up some of the other things on the road, which I'll recap later, like rock pigeon and stuff, but we do have a lot of low-hanging fruit that we could possibly find, so I don't know, it's gonna be close. We might be stuck in the 60s. It's very possible though that we break into the 70s and beat our record. The reason it's so hard to beat the record this year is because last year I did this big day down in St. George, Utah, which is the southern border of Utah, and it's warmer, and there was definitely a lot more birds there than there are here. I'm planning on going there in a couple weeks, so subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those adventures. There's some really cool birds down there. But anyways, I'm just driving along this road. I haven't even seen one bird yet. Like I said, the duck hunters were just absolutely mauling this place, but hopefully we find something. I'm not really even looking for ducks at the moment. I got pretty much all the species I need. Blue-winged teal would be awesome. Cinnamon teal is necessary. But I really just need shorebirds and a few other things. Sabin's gull I haven't gotten today, so let's see what we can pick up. We finally picked up some Canada geese. Super happy to get those on the list. I can't believe it took us all day to finally find those birds. And then also, just back over here, the reason I'm driving and I'm not stopping is because there's so many people on this road, and people are getting a little bit when you stop, and especially if you get out in some of the non-designated pull-out areas. So I'm just continuously going, but I do stop to film the birds. I'm just moving when I'm talking. Greater yellowlegs added to the list as well. Was expecting to find that one here, and we did. There was only just one, so super happy that we were able to find that needle in a haystack. We're not to the part where things are crazy, and there's thousands of ducks to the right of me as well. So let's see if we can pick out anything new in those ducks. Although I don't really know if we're missing anything, so I probably won't spend too much time on those waterfowl species. We're starting to fill in some holes. We picked up American white pelicans out in the distance as well, but they're out there. And then also picked up some American coot as well, a big hole on our list. Finally got that bird on camera. So I wouldn't say that this trip to Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge has been a waste of time either, that we've still gotten about 5 species that we needed on our list. Oh, we also got the briefest of views of pied-billed grebe. So that's another bird for our list. And again, we also need Sabin's gull. So there's still a handful of species. Great egret could be out there. Handful of species left to be found. And if we're lucky, we could find something crazy. Peregrine falcon, prairie falcon. There's a lot of possibilities. Let's see if we can add a few more birds to our list before we head back to Cache County, hit Hiram Reservoir, and then go high elevation to round out the day. We are closing the last stretch of the Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge loop, which means that there are great egrets possibly on that side. Hopefully a black-crowned night heron or something else. There's been some birds that have flown by that I haven't gotten on camera, and then there was one horned grebe that I saw, and then it dove, and I never saw it. Like, I sat there forever waiting for it to come back up. It never came back up. So yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys are having fun during your big days as well. Icing on the cake would be a Sabin's gull. Let's see if we can get it. Just finished up Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge and picked up Savannah sparrow right at the end here. So new sparrow species on the list. Also saw some incredible birds along the way. The storm is coming though. On my way back, I was filming it. It's about to hit us, and I think it's gonna bring a lot of rain. There was also some lightning that I saw. So we're gonna head back up to Cache County. Hopefully by the time we get there, it's mellowed out. We're gonna hit Hiram Reservoir first. There's like mergansers, maybe some loons that have been reported there that I need for the day. And then we're gonna go up to high elevation and try to get some high elevation birds in my favorite hotspot of all time, at least right now, Tony Grove Lake. That'll be the perfect way to finish off this big day.
We picked up a western grebe, which I got wrong earlier, a Franklin's gull, and a lesser scaup. This brought us to 57.
Okay, wait a minute. I stand corrected. Last year, for October Big Day, my record was 66. Before that, we had an abysmal year, and we did a northern Utah Big Day, and we got like 45 species, actually 35 species. It was really rough. But we are sitting after Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge. I know the counter's not gonna match up with this because I have to catch you guys all up at the end. We're sitting at 60 species. We need 6 more species to beat our October Big Day record, because last year we got 66, and we were down in St. George too. I think we're gonna do this. Knock on wood, but I still have easy things that I'm missing. Dark-eyed junco, Eurasian collared dove. If we can go without getting hit by a crazy storm
to Hiram Reservoir and pick up some mergansers, maybe a loon, and then go up into the mountains, I think we got this in the bag. I'm shooting for 70. That's 10 more species away. Let's see if we can do it. Okay, I'm at Hiram State Park now. I have some good news. We have over here the loon. I believe it's a common loon, not a Pacific loon, which, well, I need a Pacific loon for Cache County and I believe for Utah in general, but I believe it's a common loon. So common loon, new bird on today. It's storming now and the weather looks absolutely terrible, looks absolutely awful. We needed to find an osprey and a bald eagle here, but the rain's really dumping down on us right now and I don't really see that being a reality. Wait a minute. Just kidding. We literally just got the osprey. It just dove down in the water and I just got it on camera, just barely. So there's two new birds. The osprey's flying in front of me right now. Incredible, incredible. No sign of the bald eagle. So that's a knock off the list, but we really need those high elevation birds. I think that's what will put us over the 66 record that I've set in the past. We're so close. We're so close. The only thing that would stop us at this point is the weather, and we got 2 of the 4 or 5 targets that we had here despite the rain really coming down in droves at this point. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to head up the canyon and see if we can get away from the rain, and hopefully Tony Grove is a little bit better weather than this, but you never know. Okay, actually insane. I just got the bald eagle. The problem is that it flew at an angle where I couldn't get the camera up in time. So sorry guys, you don't get to see a bald eagle. You've seen 1,000 of them on this channel already. So that's awesome, really productive here. We got the osprey, we got the common loon. I also picked up a Eurasian collar dove on the way here, but that will be at the end recap. And then bald eagle flying through the storm. I think it was actually going after the osprey. Also, there's lightning everywhere. All right, I'm gonna head up to Tony Grove. Hopefully that's a good idea. Ooh, the thunder's coming down. Things have gotten pretty crazy. Okay, so because it's dropped like 30 degrees in the last hour or two, we can no longer go to high elevation. If we go to high elevation, apparently it's going to be absolutely freezing cold and probably snowing. My car can't do that. So we are literally just a couple birds away from setting a new record. So I came to First Dam. It's a long shot trying to find a new bird, and we got one. Common merganser to add to our list for the day. New bird on the day. Can't believe we got it. We're literally like 1 or 2 birds away from breaking the record. I'm not sure exactly where we're at, but we need to go hard and try to actually complete this. Now there's a few birds that I'm clearly missing that are easy ones. Housefinch, for example, dark-eyed junco, belted kingfisher. There's things that we can pick up. We've got to be methodical because the sun is going down. It's already super dark out here because the clouds. We're so close. Let's see if we can do this. All right, so the rain picked up again and I just had to get back in the car. It's now really cold outside and I don't want the camera to get ruined, obviously. We did pick up housefinch though. I did hear one. Did not get it on camera. Sorry guys. You'll have to Google what that looks like. We're so close. I have no idea where we're at, but we're so close to breaking my fall big day record. It's so fun to compete against yourself. Of course, Chris in California, I am also doing a fun little friendly challenge with him as well. I wonder how his big day is going. I know he was doing one on an island. Make sure you go check out that video, by the way. We'll hear from him at the end of this video when he tells us how his big day went. I just want to get a couple more species. I mean, at a minimum, we're super close to 70. 70 is a really good milestone. I think we've passed 65, which is cool. We did that last year, but you can't be too sure. So there's some easy ones on the table that I haven't picked up yet. Red-breasted, nuthatch, black-capped chickadees, pine siskins. Almost all those 3 birds can be found in the cemetery near my house. So let's drive over there and we'll just pull in, roll down the windows, listen, see if we can hear them. And man, today's been amazing, but the weather really just got weird. Look how dark it is. It's like an hour, 2 hours until sunset, like an hour and a half till sunset, and this is how dark it is. I'm just in the cemetery trying to listen bird by ear. Red-breasted nuthatch or pine siskin, goldfinches, any of those birds would be new for the day, just to add a couple more to our list. But these darn squirrels that you probably hear in the background are making it really difficult to hear anything I actually want to hear. So gonna go to the other side of the cemetery, see if it's a little bit quieter over there. And oh man, just like one, even if it's just one more species, I'll be happy. We put in a lot of work today and we've seen some incredible things. As you can probably hear, the rain is just too much. I can't hear anything, so we're gonna move on. Whoa, there's some lightning. We're gonna move on to the next location. We got about an hour left of daylight, and honestly, there's not gonna be a lot of birds that are gonna be out in this. And we're gonna hit Sue's Pond, and maybe I can get some goldfinch there, straggling yellow-headed blackbirds, great-tailed grackle, just like really random stuff that we're missing on the day that might still be hanging around before they migrated away. So stick with me. Let's see if we can beat this record, and let's see if we can survive this weather. Leela just reminded me that there are great-tailed grackles usually in Costco's parking lot. So we're gonna do two things. We're gonna go stop at Sue's Pond, see if we can find any goldfinches or anything, especially if this rain dies down. And if not, or if so, either way, we're gonna go to Costco and see if we can pick up great-tailed grackle to get one more bird on our list. Thank you, Leela. Let's go see if we can find these birds. Even the Costco parking lot grackles are nowhere to be found. Oh my goodness. I mean, they're smarter than us. They're seeking shelter. All right, to Sue's Pond we go. Come on, 1, 2, 3 more species and we're set. But dang, those grackles, man, where did they go? Made it to Sue's Pond. Hopefully we don't get stuck in the mud. This is a dirt road and my car was sliding a little bit, but we did it. We just picked up one more species. Canvasback just sitting right over there in the water. I can't believe it. It paid off. The rain stopped enough so we could roll down the window a little bit, and there's Canvasback standing right over there. Absolutely incredible stuff. Wow, wow. All right. What a rush. Birding is so fun, and big days are exhausting, and I would never do a big year, but it is fun twice a year to go out and just try to see as many species as you possibly can in one day as like a challenge. This might not be it. Who knows? If I see anything else, I'll let you guys know.
Okay, so we just finished up our big day on Santa Catalina Island. We were in the port of Avalon. We walked around 12 miles, birded for about 9 or 10 hours, but we only saw 51 species. The conditions overnight weren't that good. It was extremely clear and the winds were northern. So we didn't have great conditions, which resulted in not a lot of birds. We did have one rarity, clay-colored sparrow, but we were hoping for more.
Amazing job on your big day, Chris. And the fact that you almost beat me in bad conditions on an island is just incredible. I'm just happy both of us were able to spend the entire day out birding and finding some incredible birds. So congratulations on your big day. Everyone, make sure you go give Birding with Chris a subscribe. He makes some incredible videos and he's already a pro. Well, how did we do? We know we were a couple species away from our record, but where did we end up at? Let me fill in the remaining birds that I haven't featured yet on the big day.
To round things out, we got an American crow, black-billed magpie, a rock pigeon, and an Eurasian collared dove to break our record to 67. Let's go.
We did it. We beat our big day record. Next year's goal, 70 species. I've gotten so close to 70 2 years in a row, and I really think it's time that we actually jump over that 70 species mark. Maybe even go for more. Who knows? And especially if the weather's really, really good. Let me know in the comments below what was your favorite bird during your big day. And if you didn't bird for big day, that's okay. What was your favorite bird from this video? Make sure you subscribe because next week we have a collaboration from your favorite bird tubers from all over the world where they go out and try to find the spookiest birds in their area. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. I hope to see you all next time on Bright-Eyed Birding.